Hello everyone. So this is the video for the Tier 4 students who are going to come to UK, or Tier 4 students who are going to graduate the next few months in UK, because this is again one of the commonly requested videos from all the students who are going to come to UK and study. So I have released a few videos for the students specifically about the rule change regarding the 2-year work visa that's going to come. Also the COVID-19 impact for the students, some of the suggestions that I had given on June 6th and 8th. But students have been asking me a few questions, and what I thought was there were some common questions where people were asking, who are going to come and study in UK. So I thought I'll make a consolidated list of question answers for, like I did for points-based system. I'll make a consolidated list of question answers for the students who are going to come to UK in the near term, or who are already studying in UK and going to graduate in UK. So let's look at those question and answers in detail. And for all of these question and answers, I've got the information from the Home Office documents, and these are all my interpretation of that Home Office content that is there. I'm going to provide you the direct Home Office links and the news articles which are substantiating this as well. So you can also go and read those articles, and you can go and read that fact sheet and information. So first of all, let's start with the basic description of what the UK graduate visa is. What is the important change that's going to come for the Tier 4 students? So currently, Tier 4 students who come from India to study in UK on a Tier 4 visa, they get only about 4 months after the graduation to find work, and also find work with an employer who's willing to give them a visa sponsorship. So the visa sponsorship currently should be a Tier 2 general visa sponsorship. So the Tier 2 general visa sponsorship itself is very difficult because of the resident labor market test, and there are several restrictions for it. And there are only about 30,000 employers in UK who have the sponsorship license for the Tier 2 general. So for a student to find work within the 4 months itself is the first challenge. And then again, to find work within the 4 months between those 30,000 employers and get a sponsorship from the employer is again a bigger challenge. So combined with these challenges, a lot of students have been coming back without work after they've graduated in UK in the last few years, because it's really difficult to get into a work under sponsorship. So which is when the Home Secretary had announced a major change that's going to come last year from 2021. So all the students that are going to graduate from 2021 summer will automatically get, or will be eligible for a 2-year work visa. Will not automatically get, we'll clarify that point. Will be eligible to get 2 years of work visa, which is called as a post-study work visa in India, PSW. But the official name of it is called the graduate scheme. Now combine this with the new points-based system, which is going to make it easier for UK employers to sponsor people to give the points-based system visa, which I have very clearly clarified in my previous videos. So that's going to make it a lot more easier for students to find job within the 2-year period, get into an employer, and then after they've completed the 2-year period working for someone, they can easily switch to the points-based visa and get a sponsorship, because it's going to be a lot more easier to get a sponsor with the points-based visa changes as well. So overall, this makes Tier 4 visa and studying in the UK a lot more attractive, because now you don't have to go back. You have a lot more opportunity to stay in UK and get a work. So one of the key questions that people always ask me is, has the UK government confirmed it? Because there's no official statement. There's a lot of rumors that's been cancelled. There's a lot of rumors that's been postponed because of COVID-19. And some people have even said that it's going to be not 2 years, it's going to be like 3 years or 4 years, and so on. So these are the official releases that I have found in Home Office that are specifically talking about the graduate scheme or the post-study work visa. On 11th September 2019, there was an official announcement by the Home Office where they clarified all this. On 14th October 2019, they released a fact sheet which has practically all of the information that you need about the Tier 4 visa changes that are going to come in 2021. And that fact sheet is one of the basis of most of the answers in this document. The most recent update or official update from Home Office was on 16 June 2020, when they released a guidance for Tier 4 specifically for COVID-19. And page 14 of the document confirms the graduate route scheme, and also has a little bit more details with regards to the Tier 4 graduate route scheme. All of these Home Office links, I'll give it in the description. You can go and read about it. Apart from this, multiple times in the news and press, the Home Secretary Preeti Patel and a lot of ministers have confirmed and talked about this 2-year post-study work visa. So there's definitely a good sign that it is confirmed and it's coming. But the further announcements with regards to the fees and a little bit more details will obviously be produced in due course as per what the document has said. So another confusion initially was, who will get the benefits? What about the current students? So the initial statement in September suggested that students starting in 2020 will probably get benefited, and students who started in 2019 will not get benefit. So the fact sheet and the further guidance have very clearly confirmed that all students who graduate in the summer of 2021, that is generally in July, it could be different because of coronavirus, but in the summer of 2020-21 will be eligible for the 2-year post-study work visa. So which means a student, if they have started a 2-year course in 2019, for example, and they're graduating in the summer of 2021, they will be eligible. And if a student who started a 3-year course, like PhD courses, for example, they've started it in 2018, and they're only going to graduate in 2021, they will also be eligible for this 2-year post-study work visa. There's one catch: the students who started in early 2020, like for example in Jan 2020, sometimes it's a 1-year course and they graduate in early 2021, which means January or February. So because you're going to graduate prior to the launch of the scheme, you will not be eligible for getting the 2-year work visa. So even though once you graduate in January, you will have 4 months after graduation to stay in UK. When you graduate, the scheme is not officially launched, so you may probably not get the benefit of this. But this is going to be specifically for students who started in 2020 January and who are going to finish in like January of 2021, and they have like nearly 5 or 6 months till the scheme is officially launched. Again, students who are going to graduate much earlier to this, for example, students graduating this year in September or this year in August, they would already know that they are not eligible for the scheme because the scheme is only launching in summer of 2021. So hopefully this is clear. So the next question is, what happens after that? Is it only applicable? Like, there were a few comments which said that this is going to be available only for 1 year, which means that there's a fear of missing out, that if you don't graduate in 2021, you will not get it after that. The fact sheet as well as all the official confirmations clearly states that anyone who graduates after the summer of 2021 will get this option for graduate visa scheme for 2 years, which means there's a commitment from the government to support the education sector at least for a few years. So the policy changes, generally the visa regulated policy changes are in UK at least stay for a few years before there is a revision to the policy. So obviously this is going to be there for at least 2 or 3 years, but we can never say that the next government, if there is a change of government, for example the next election, or if the recession continues, we can never say that whether it will not be revised in the next few years. But I think it will be safe to say that at least for the next 2 to 3 years this will still remain. So if you're going to graduate in 2021 or 2022 or a year later than that, for example, at least for the next 2 to 3 years this should remain in place to get your 2-year work visa after you graduate in the Tier 4 scheme. So another common question, probably the most asked question is, will the students automatically get it? Like if I'm applying for a Tier 4, will I get a 1 year plus 2 year work visa when I get my Tier 4 itself? No, you don't, because you need to graduate for you to be able to get, or for you to qualify for this 2-year work visa. So which means that after you graduate, you have to specifically apply again and pay the 2-year work visa fees for getting the graduate work visa scheme. So you also have to pay for the 2 years, you also have to pay the immigration health surcharge. So any student who's coming in Tier 4 and paying the fees and who doesn't want this 2-year work visa, they don't have to pay for it. They can always finish their Tier 4 in that 1 year and they can go back to India or to whichever country they want if they don't want the 2-year work visa. So it's not mandatory, and it's not mandatory that you need to pay the fees for it. If you graduate and if you want it, then you can obviously take it, but you will have to specifically apply again for this. So another question is, do we still need a sponsor? Like, okay, I've graduated, I'm going to get this 2-year work visa, but do I still need a sponsorship like my university or someone? Do they still need to sponsor me for 2 years? No, you don't need a sponsorship. You don't need a certificate of sponsorship for the 2 years. You're free to work for any employer. You're free to work for any salary. You can change jobs during this period any number of times. You can also stay in the UK without a job during this period. But before the 2-year ends, you will probably need to find a sponsorship and need to find a job. So will the 2 years count towards ILR or settlement? Like if I stayed 2 years in this graduate work visa and then I get a sponsorship for 3 years, will I get an ILR in that 5-year period? No, it will not count. So your 2 years in the graduate work visa, the post-study work visa, will not count towards your ILR or indefinite leave to remain. Which means that if you work in 2 years using this graduate scheme and then switch to a PBS or a points-based visa, you still need 5 years, another 5 years for getting your ILR. So the 2 years doesn't count. So if you get into a job and the employer is willing to sponsor a points-based system for you in 2021, then don't wait for the 2 years to complete. As soon as you find the sponsor, switch to the points-based system, because then your eligibility starts from that point instead of leaving it for the 2 years, which means that you're extending the ILR time period or the eligibility time period for the ILR. Another question is, is there any cap for the number of people who can get into it? Currently, there's no cap or there's no numbers announced. So all students, regardless of even if it's like 100,000, 200,000 students who are going to graduate in 2021 of summer, they're all eligible to get this post-study work visa. So there's no cap for it. Final question is, this is probably the most important question that people had asked, is with regards to the COVID-19 impact. What happens if I can't travel in 2020? Because for all there might be a second wave, or people may not be able to travel from India with travel restrictions in September to join their university courses. So I had made a video on 6th of June and 8th of June where I've suggested that there are a lot of proposals given to the Home Office which suggest that there will be relaxation to this. So UK Home Office have actually officially released a confirmation in their COVID-19 response to Tier 4 in June. And I'll give you the link to this document as well. Page 14 of this document especially talks about the graduate scheme, where they've clearly mentioned that if you're not able to travel because of COVID-19, you are still eligible for the graduate scheme, even if you're doing distance learning, because generally you are supposed to sit through the entire 1-year course face to face. And even if you do like a small portion of it in distance learning, and if you're not having enough attendance, then you will not be eligible for these schemes. But now they've relaxed it. They've said that you can switch into it if you spend time studying outside the UK. For example, in India, if you've done it through the distance learning, then you're still eligible as long as you come into the UK before the 6th of April 2021 and finish at least one semester, which is the final semester of your studies in UK. So you could spend like nearly 6 months in India studying the course. And if you're able to come to UK only after the lockdown ends, let's say in April 2021, as long as you come into UK from April 2021, you will be eligible for this graduate scheme. And you will, when you graduate in the summer of 2021, you can get the 2-year work visa. So this is a big relief to most of the students, and it's been officially confirmed by the Home Office. So hopefully, I think I've clarified most of the questions that people had asked me with regards to 2020 Tier 4 changes and students who are coming to UK. All of the questions that they have asked, I've kind of consolidated, and I think I've answered all of the questions. But if you still have any specific questions, please do post your comments in the comment section, and I'll try and see if I can answer some of the questions if I know the questions. If not, I'll try to collate and again make another video if there are too many open questions. So thank you so much. Until next time. Bye.